She is new to storytelling, so we're very excited that she's here tonight. She is an expert in all things food, drink, and the color pink. So put your hands together for Renee.
This is my first time, so can I just first get a big round of applause? Like, really. Okay, thank you. I appreciate you guys. You guys know what the biggest mindfuck in the entire world is? Motherhood. You know what the biggest fucking oxymoron in the world is? Also, motherhood. 1 second, you look at your kid and you're like, oh my God, I love you so much. It's like devastatingly, it just hurts you because you love them with every fiber of your being. And then the next second, you're like, it's 7 a.m., go the fuck back to bed. Take my keys, take my wallet, take the TV, take anything, just get out of my face. And then, of course, you feel the immense mom guilt because you love them so much and you can't ever stop loving them. But sometimes it is just so much. Now, I know there's one mom in the audience because she just talked about being a mom to Bug. Such a cute name. Any other moms or dads in the audience? Thank you. Okay, so hopefully you will not judge me for how harsh I may sound. But right now, I have a 4-nager. On one hand, I'm like, this is lovely, he's independent, he's so kind, he shares. We were just on a trip the other day and he loves vehicles and trains, so he went on the train on the airport, to get to point A to the baggage claim, and he leaves and he just looks at the train, he says, thank you. And I just melt, and he's so sweet, and then the next moment he's hitting me and flailing and screaming about Cheez-Its, and I can't. But of all the stages of motherhood, it's all good, but it's all bad. It all really sucks a lot of times. Am I right? Yes. And so today, when I first heard about Louder Than a Mom, I was really excited, right? Because I was like, oh my God, I'm a mom. I'm loud. This is perfect. My friend Ying, who I know is somewhere because he's taping this for me. Ying, where are you at? I can't see, but yes, you are there. Ying is a male, right? And he did this. I don't know why I thought that it was only about moms, because clearly. But I had it in my mind that I wanted to talk about motherhood, all the crazy ups and downs, and all of those stages. Right now I have that 4-nager. But first, that first stage I had a potato. They call it newborn, and I guess it's like awkward to put like potato on the little clothes. But really, they are born a potato. They don't do anything. They cry, they scream, they poop, and they eat. Otherwise, they are a potato. I was really lucky, and my son Lucas was a limited edition screaming potato. He was born 6 weeks early, came screaming into this world saying, it is my baby shower today. I am coming out of you today. While I exclusively pumped, he exclusively screamed. He screamed for the first 4 months of his life. I thought this was hell. I thought this was the only thing this potato would do was scream. I told my mom friend, my coworker, I said, this is hell. This is the worst thing in the world. And she looked at me and she said, newborns are easy. Toddlers are what you have to fear. I thought, fuck you, lady. Sorry, I let the F-bombs roll because I don't have a toddler who will repeat that. So instead of saying like frick and crud, I will say the F word now. And then a neighbor who saw how exasperated I was at this newborn stage where all I did was not sleep, said, oh wait, it gets better. Geez, lady, really? Thanks. At least she didn't mean sleep. She meant that one day that screaming potato would talk back at you. And now, with this 4-nager who needs to be entertained every single second from when he wakes up to when he finally goes to bed after telling me for the 4th freaking time that he has to pee again. Okay, that happens to me, but that's probably more of like a medical issue, okay? He is trying to stall from bedtime and it is 10 p.m. You need to go the fuck to sleep. But now I know a potato is where it's at. The potato does not fight back. It does not talk back. It does not make you repeat over and over again, Cheez-Its are not for dinner, eat dinner. Cheez-Its are dinner. Cheez-Its are not dinner, Lucas. The potato, it sometimes it'll sleep, but mostly during the day. So you could just bring it with a diaper in your boob, and you could go to the bar, you could go out to brunch, you could do anything with a potato. Then after the potato, actually was my favorite phase. That like 4 to, for my screaming potato, it was until 6 months. 6 to 9 months, it's a happy potato. It starts to learn emotions like happiness and smiling, things other than screaming and pooping and crying and screaming and pooping. And they like drool all the time. Mine also was a limited edition, very moist baby. And he didn't get his first tooth until 17 months, but he was just drooling constantly. And this is when you finally get some sort of reward for all this crazy effort. They smile at you and they say mama. Of course, after Dada, even though mama does everything for them and birthed them and carried them, of course they inevitably say Dada first. But then you hear, mama, I love you too. And you just melt. And then after that, you get what I call a Fussosaurus Rex. That is anywhere from that 1 year to like 2.5. I don't love the term terrible twos. A lot of it is terrible for sure. But this is when they're fussy as fuck. And they don't know how to process these crazy emotions when they get a blue cup instead of a red cup. So they just sit there and scream and cry for so freaking long, and you just don't know what to do. And then another blink of an eye, and I had myself a 3-nager until not very long ago. So many ups and downs. One moment they're so sweet and they're sharing with every single kid. And then the next moment they're slapping you and laughing and you want to pull your hair out. But through it all, I told a friend who asked me, she was in the newborn stage, and I didn't want to be like the friend who was like, it gets worse or whatever, right? Because I knew it does get worse in a lot of ways. But there are so many pros to each stage and so many cons. It all sucks, but it all is amazing as well. So you have to lean in. Get it? Remember? Lean in. You gotta lean in to those pros if you're gonna make it. And you have to kind of just fake it till you make it and scream and shout and hope for the best and see the light at the end of the tunnel. And now I have a 4-nager who's amazing, but also makes me wanna scream. And it's crazy. I thought in the beginning, I was like, why would anyone do this to themselves, right? And there's so many people in the world, and a lot of them have kids. Kids, plural, they do it again voluntarily. Like, why? I want to throw this screaming potato out the window. It won't stop screaming. Mine has a defect. Why would anyone do this again? Well, it's because every fiber of your being, there's that oxymoron, that mind fuck, right? Every fiber of your being is like, this sucks, but I love it. I love them. I can't stop loving them. And some people, they're crazy enough to want to do it again, right? And I came here in February, my first show, and towards the end, I heard Aaron talk about wanting to have another kid. That craziness had hit me too. And I actually got up and left to the bathroom. I felt kind of bad because you don't really want to walk out on somebody talking, right? But I wanted another kid so bad, despite all the craziness, and I didn't think it was going to happen. Little did I know a little, hopefully non-screaming potato was already forming. Because sometimes if you lean into all the craziness, you're lucky enough to be able to do it again. Screaming potato or toddler tantrums? I can't wait, baby girl. I can't wait to meet you. And I can't, and I already won't ever stop loving you.